YouTube, look at how dry this is. Alright. Yeah, it's pretty dry out. Look how dry it is. We need rain. Actually, this is the first time I'm on a riverfront with an edited video. I've probably done a couple live streams already time you watch this video, but mostly just, it's going to be like evening, during the evening hours now because of the heat of summer is here. So we're looking at maybe a couple live streams. I'll probably do some early morning live streams if I do anything. But look how dry it is out here. We need some rain bad. Alright, I've been hearing a lot of rumors going around. I guess a lot of rumors were flying on Facebook when we was out in Sibylla last 2 days. Come home and we saw what was through the rumor mill. I'll give you, if anybody saw our Eagle Point walkthrough, I don't know if I mentioned this or not. I don't remember. I don't recall it. If you guys recall, I saying this. Turning part of Eagle Point Park into like a family fun center with rides and all that stuff. Okay. I like that idea, like a seasonal park. If it's owned by the city, because they do this up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. There is an amusement park. There's a city park that has amusement park rides in it. All the rides are owned by the city and operated by the employees that does, that kind of work and that. But where else you ride a roller coaster for $1 up at Green Bay? It's called the Zippin' Pippin'. I might check that place out one of these days. Maybe put it in a video. There's probably videos on it anyway. Just Google up Green Bay City Park amusement rides or whatever. It's whatever that park is called. It's a city park up there in Green Bay, right next to the lake. And we got a nice, beautiful Mississippi River and that. So why not? Let's pitch some ideas out there. What to do with Riverfront here. A lot of open space, just not being wisely used right now. It's only used for festivals and all that. So let's just talk about some ideas. We got to get out in that sun to talk about them. So let's get out there and bake. Credit one of our subscribers for this kind of video that I'm making. Right now, like I said, we're going to go out in the sun. I'll show you some ideas, what I like to see, but it's not going to happen, or will never happen. But if it could happen, hopefully it happens in our lifetime. But I don't see it happening in the near future. So this would be some general ideas if they went through this idea, okay? We need to drum up some more tourist dollars. The casino is not really cutting it. Because there's too many casinos around the world, and people wants to go to Vegas, Atlantic City, and Biloxi more likely because more casinos is compact in certain areas, like Las Vegas. That's why Las Vegas is seeing bigger numbers now than ever before the pandemic, actually. Alright, let's show you some ideas. This is the stuff that needs to stay in this part of the park where I'm at. The item that needs to stay and what can be added in from in here, or if someone goes out over there and comes and replaced and relocated, whatever. I know I'm going to get criticized for this. Remember, this does not necessarily is going to happen anytime in our lifetime. It may happen, it may not happen. It's a flip of a coin. Problem is, the coin is a two-headed coin or a two-tailed coin. Let's call it a two-tail coin because this is what we call a tall tail video. That needs to stay over there in the distance is the ballpark. That has to stay, plus the clubhouse and all that. That has to stay. This statue right here has to stay in its location. The fountain, very important. It's iconic to this park. It will have to stay. And of course, the peace pole. That's right here. It has to stay. Everything up there will stay, guaranteed, 100%, including the marina and restaurant up there. And of course, this fountain area has to stay because it's a memorial type fountain. But all this has to stay. You know how dry the ground is because we have not had any rain for over 30 days, even any significant rains. But the stage right there has to stay too, because they just recently renovated that not too long ago. just shortly after Riverboat Days has died. So that stage has to stay. Right now, let's head over there. What could happen if certain events has contract run out. The land you're looking at right now is the old Allied Steel property. Back in the day, this is where they used to make steel beams and all that stuff here. Recently, it was used as a festival grounds. This is where they had the tailgate and Tall Boys concert series. The stage was set up over there. Last year, they had a traveling carnival for last year's 4th of July festival. Don't know if they're going to have one again this year or not. This would have been the one rumored location of the hotel. And the other possible location will be the 2 ball diamonds over there. We'll take a look over there in a second. But this is one of possibly 2 locations of a hotel. But the problem is the Tall Boys and Tailgate concert series has a 3-year deal. So I think they'll be back next year. They're going to need the space. But if it does, and they redesign everything through here, there's a possibility you can still get a hotel built on this property or over there where the ball diamonds are. Now, that's probably the hotel rumor. Now, let's talk about what I'd like to see is a small amusement park. Okay, let's just start with this plot of land right here at the old Allied Steel property where they had the Tall Boys and the Tailgate and Tall Boys concert series, the country concert series they just had recently. The hotel might work over there with additional parking and all that stuff here. And in this general area, from where I'm standing on south through here up to the fence line, can work a small amusement park featuring maybe a small wooden roller coaster. Don't have to be very big. About 4 or 5 flat rides, as long as one is involved with a Ferris wheel, a drop tower, or a star flyer. Plus other flat rides for the kiddies, and maybe your basic flat rides you see in most of your traveling carnivals. This would be a good location. Maybe 2 food stalls and 10, maybe about 7 to 8. I would say 2 to 3 food stalls, a gift shop of some kind. And what about paid admission? No, it'd be free to enter the park, pay as you go, and or buy an armband for unlimited rides for another price. That would also work too. Maybe a couple small, maybe a kiddie coaster and maybe a small thrill coaster. But a small woody would work too. It's a hot one. I got under the shade again for a little bit. Okay, let's use this shade tree right here as a borderline between the stage area, which is down there, and this area where I like to see the amusement park area. This is my second place of choice for a small amusement park of some kind. Let's just point out what they could put in here. I point out what they could put over there. A lot more space if you put your hotel in right here, and the rest would be all amusement park. That got more space to work with. That's if we end up losing the Tall Boy, Tailgate and Tall Boys concert series, which is rumored, or word has it, it's under contract for 3 years. And I heard one of the performers is already committed for next year. Right now, let's just talk about this plot of land right here for a potential amusement park. Yeah, right. This could also work for the hotel site too, in this area too. A small hotel can work here, hotel, motel. But this is the borderline. I'm talking about from this tree. Let's go to the tree over there. There's a little picnic table there. Just straight across to that one tree. Right there at the very top of my finger, that'd be the borderline. From anything from here would be fair game for development, but leave the fountain, the statue, and any benches I did forget to mention, the fountain and the stage all alone. If they leave all that alone, and just work around those areas, which will be great. In here can work a few rides. You put your game stalls over there along the baseball fence line. As long as the roof is slanted back to the stadium, So this way any home runs can roll back behind the service areas of the amusement park. That's where you put the service road in for the amusement park part. Also, your walkways can also serve as an amusement park. This area could work a small wooden coaster. Just loop it around the trees, down along the shoreline, down along the base of the dike. Come around, come right back into here. Small coaster, small woody, not too big, not too tall. Put a Ferris wheel in the middle next to the power stations there. Maybe a couple food stands here. Your admission gate will be over here, and the second admission gate coming off the dike next to the fountain someplace will be at work as another admission gate, something like that. Free into the park, pay as you go, or buy an armband. A few flat rides can work in here, maybe a drop tower or a star flyer with maybe like a scrambler, tilt-a-whirl, and another flat ride of some kind. But as long as you got a Ferris wheel and a tower ride, one of the two tower rides will work here because and a couple kiddie coasters and maybe a wild mouse coaster. But if you got something that goes upside down, I would say it takes a small space, a Larson looper, what they call a super loop, which is usually a popular ride for the traveling carnival. But this would be a nice location. The game stalls will be right there with the slope ramp back to the home run fence there, or the ballpark. That could work too. If you like these ideas, leave it down in comments down below. If you don't like these ideas, remember, these ideas may or may not happen. Probably more likely it will never happen. The unpopular decision that the rumor came up years ago, was the hotel apartment complex that would cost the relocation of this field and that field to put the hotel, apartment complex, all that stuff, and this cotton willow tree has to go if it does happen, which it won't. But this would be my other location of the amusement park because you can use the size of this diamond and the size of this diamond. I've been to a carnival down in Milan where they actually put a full-size carnival inside the diamond, which it featured four major rides, 4 kiddie rides, a couple of food stalls, and the rest filled up in game stalls. And they kept the camping and other equipment off to another location, technically a parking lot on the side where the crews will stay, but the carnival took up the whole ballpark, either this or this. But the controversial decision, because it will force the relocation of these two diamonds for that development to happen, which probably never will happen. But if they don't want the hotel or whatever, want to go ahead with the amusement park idea, this would be the final location. It would make up the use of these two diamonds. You could probably get a little bit bigger wooden coaster to run along the pace path of the light tower, loop it around to the end of that, and come right back. That'd be the base ride with an entrance through here underneath a couple drop hills of that roller coaster. Then you put a few more kiddie rides in and a few more flat rides, maybe a small space Gershwauer thrilling coaster. I would say like a Eurofighter type coaster, like they do. Eventually it's an Infinity coaster, that's much bigger. But there's a smaller Gershwauer you can use too here, and a kiddie coaster. But this would be the final location of that idea, which will never happen. Well, you can barely see me because I'm in the shade. It is hot out here today, hot and muggy today. You can see I'm working up a nice little sweat. And sort of like this since the Grand Canyon. That's what I'm wearing, the Grand Canyon shirt. Check out that video if you haven't seen it already. Okay, let's talk about the negatives and positives. Right now, let's just go right to the negatives of it. Negatives is lack of parking. That's going to be the obvious. Anybody who's been to any of the festivals recently, parking's been a problem. Especially remember the old 4th of July days. So for the locals that remembers the 4th of July days, parking was an issue. It always will be an issue. Okay, noise. Well, unfortunately, we have a Miss Crybaby she lives near the courthouse area, always complains about any noise that comes from within a 5-mile radius of where she lives. Almost anywhere in this town, she complains about it. So we'll just call her Miss Crybaby and that. So I think a lot of people know who I'm talking about. But do not leave any names in the comments down below, as I will remove those names. All right? All right. And also, other citizens of this, of course, the residential negative pushback on this idea. So it'll be like a negative idea. It's a positive idea to try to, I'll get to the positive side of it as much as I can, but the negatives is the community may not welcome this development up here in Riverfront. There's a lot of Riverfront that's not being in use. And like I said, if you go to up there in Green Bay, Wisconsin, they do have a city-owned park that has amusement rides, and it seems like it gives the locals something to do, and it gives out-of-town coastal enthusiasts a very unusual credits. So guess what? That's tourist dollars in their hotels and restaurants and all that stuff, plus money spent in that park. But that's just a positive. But the negatives are mostly it's going to be the parking and the noise of the roller coasters and some of the rides and the screaming. So the noise is going to be a negative. Traffic is going to be a negative, especially if everybody decides to leave at the same time or enter all at the same time. So traffic could be a problem. Like I said, that's some of the negatives. And of course, like I said, the local residents ain't gonna go for this idea any way, shape, or form. They'll fight against it to keep the park as is, which I don't blame them too, because it is kind of peaceful and quiet too at times. They're trying to get some of these festivals banned anyway, but you really need festivals to fill up that band show and all that stuff. You gotta give local residents something to do during the summer months. That's why we have important to have these festivals. But the amusement park idea will be, let's say, it could run from May to October. It gives local residents something to do, even if they ride the same thing over and over and over. It gives them the time to come down, unwind, and get entertained, and that. But the negatives is going to be the parking and that. Okay, let's talk about the positives. I talked to a couple of positives. It also gives certain locals something to do. It also going to bring employment in this town, badly needed employment. Even if it's seasonal, it's still employment. It gives them some employment, some people to earn money, to pay their bills and all that stuff. Also, it can generate tourist dollars in some form, because in the community, in the YouTube community, it's called a coastal enthusiast community. You've seen these videos from Coastal Studios to Theme Park Worldwide. All these roller coaster theme park review. You got In the Loop type channels that goes out to these parks and reviews them and all that stuff. And what they do, they come to these parks and they spend money. Their hard-earned money. And that's what they do. They spend their money. That's money you can add to our local economy, which it really needs a good shot in the arm at times. And I think this would work. A new hotel, amusement park complex. But it don't have to be a big fancy one. It'll be something similar to Arnold's Park. Please Google Arnold's Park here in Iowa. It's a free admission park. It was saved by developers because they want to develop it into more housing and all that stuff. And the locals decided to back up Arnold's Park 100% because it takes away something that they always wanted to do. Just go out with their families and something to do. That is the biggest positive right there. Even Arnold Park does not have the best parking, but they don't draw a whole lot of people. But this is draw enough to keep the park afloat. That's all you need to do. Just have enough people to attend the parks. to keep it afloat. But it's just general ideas. Okay, like I said, we'll just review the negatives real quick. Parking, noise, and the community pushback on this. Positives, it's going to bring jobs. It's going to bring tourist dollars. And it gives other locals that likes the idea something to do for the whole summer and that. And really, you really need something to do. Something fun, something easy, something for the whole family and that. But that's just some of my ideas. Just remember, these are ideas. These are not going to get passed anytime soon. As far as I know, it will never happen in my lifetime. If it does happen in my lifetime, if it happens while we're still on YouTube, you will see it here on YouTube. How about that? I wish it would work, but I doubt it. Right now, the odds of all this development happening, I'm going to give it, out of the score of 100, I'm going to give it a very low 10% chance it's happening. 90% it won't happen. So 10% it will happen, 90% it won't happen. Let's put it that way. 90% it will never happen. That development will never happen. 10% chance it will happen. So those are not good odds, basically, right there. So let's get this straight. 90% chance it will never happen. So 10% it would. So let's just, yeah, it's just, I would love to see it happen, but, you know, when you got 90% chance it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. But I may be wrong. I've been wrong before. All right, we're out of here. Please like, share, subscribe, don't forget to subscribe button, notification bell. We'll try to get out and about again tomorrow if I feel like it. Right now I have to, because I have to make up something, as you've probably already seen. All right, we'll see you guys later.